Hello, I'm Tanya Spencer, and today we're going to talk about how acceptance heals suffering. So, everything is changing all the time: the seasons, the weather, the time of day, our moods, our emotions, the sensations in our bodies. There is an ebb and a flow to life. Energy is constantly flowing. But we don't usually like change, do we? We try to stop it. We try to ignore it. We say things like, why can't things just stay the same? But there is a saying: pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. So pain, whether physical or emotional, is inevitable in life, but suffering is optional. This didn't make any sense to me at first because I thought that pain meant suffering. But there's a formula that explains this, and it is suffering equals pain times resistance. And so what this means is resistance is the cause of our suffering. The more we resist, the more we suffer. But guess what? We have control over how much resistance we give. Now, resistance is either pushing away what we don't want or grasping on to what we do want and don't want to lose. Now, on the other hand, when we accept life as it is, whether we like it or not, we can use the incredible amount of energy we would have wasted resisting that which won't change anyway to make ourselves more comfortable, to know what we need to do to move forward, or to help those around us. But we grasp onto the way it used to be, on the way we want things to be, or him to be, or her to be. We resist uncertainty, health issues, relationship issues. But again, this grasping and resisting changes nothing, but it is the cause of our suffering. When we accept where we are, just as we are, we discover deep internal resources that we may not realize we have. No matter what the diagnosis is or what the problem is, there's always so much more right with us than wrong. Now, if we pour energy into what's wrong, that will become energized and bigger. But if we pour energy into what's right, that becomes energized and bigger. Now, acceptance may feel awkward at first because the mind is very good at grasping and resisting. That's what it knows. But if we can get past the feeling of vulnerability, we arrive at a place of great peace. So we may not like to think about it, but life is unstable, no matter how stable we try to make it for ourselves. And when we just accept this, we can start to live in a real, loving way. Now, you could think of life as being a huge river, huge. Now, if you think that the current is wrong or bad, you're going to fight it, but it's not going to change the current. Now, you could recognize changing or fighting the current as clinging to the way it used to be, not able to accept that things are different now. It might look like grasping onto power or authority. It could also look like fear of making mistakes or armoring ourselves. One of the best ways to know if you're fighting the current is to check in with the belly. Is the belly soft and is the breath deep and rhythmic? Or is the belly tense and the breath short and tight? See, the body gets rigid and tense when it's fighting reality, when it's fighting what naturally needs to keep moving and changing. And then the mind leaves the present moment, goes off to a virtual reality where it keeps trying to control things. Incessant thinking is trying to control the current. We think we're in charge. Another way to know if you're fighting the current is to tune into your use of the word should, which means you're either grasping or resisting. I should be different. You should be different. This should be different. Should is saying that reality is not okay. Now, it may not always be fun, but reality is reality. We don't control it. So, when we open to the changing flow of what's happening right here and right now, we come home to present moment peacefulness. This present moment is where life is played out. The past is gone, the future is not here yet. All we have is this moment. So we run from it over and over again, but we can always come back and open to the reality that things change. Now, this doesn't mean giving up. You don't have to give up the people that you love or the things that you enjoy or the activities that you love, but you do accept that things come and go. Now, when we accept this, we transition from a life of fear to a life of gratitude, and then we can fully enjoy who and what we have in our lives. So meditation is simply noticing reality in the present moment. We allow this moment to happen, and then we allow this moment to happen. And we breathe in, and we breathe out, and just like the breath, things come and they go, constantly changing. And when we accept reality, we become really in tune with the present moment. And then there's a natural knowing of what needs to be said or done in any situation. If anything actually needs to be said or done. Many, many times, simple acceptance of a person or a situation is all that is needed, because acceptance changes things dramatically. So try this and see how it works for you. And remember that learning new things takes time. We don't learn this stuff overnight. We practice and we practice again. So be kind to yourself while you're learning. Now, a nice meditation to go with this topic is the river meditation posted here. So just check it out and see how it works for you. As always, please feel free to post questions or comments below. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again soon.